good morning, afternoon, whatever. I think it's the 11th today. Tomorrow we are planning on leaving town and getting out on the road finally. We have several appointments tomorrow, starting really early in the morning. And where we're going, there's not a lot of parking for a 32-foot vehicle. We're going to have to be out really early to get parked on the street out in front of the place so we can get me into the wheelchair and upstairs when the time comes. Our first appointment is 9:15 in the morning, and so that's where we're going to be. Gary has got his computer all set up today. It takes him 20 minutes to half an hour to finally get set up because, it's a full desktop type of computer. And he's going to be doing some editing, I believe. That's what's on your agenda for today. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple of, we're working on our third disc in the camera. I call them discs, SD card, whatever. But we're working on our third one, so this is the beginning of our third one. And we have had, the last few days, we've had really busy days. I can't even remember what we did the day before yesterday. But I know it was busy. Oh, we went out to Stavely, to the storage. So there's a bit of a video about that.
It's 2 days ago.
Yes, day before yesterday. There's a bit of a video about the storage and being out there and gas and all sorts. When we got back into town, do you remember what we did, love?
We just basically went and sat at Home Depot.
We went to Home Depot and we sat there for the evening. And then the next day, yesterday, was really busy. We had to go to several places yesterday. We needed to hit a bank, like a couple of banks actually. One was, Gary's main bank, and the other was my main bank. I'm not going to name the banks, but we had to go to the two banks. One has, neither one of them has great parking, so we had to figure parking out. Sorry about that. There's lawn mowing going on, so hopefully you can hear us. Hang on, I'll gently swing over there. There goes the lawnmower man. Running his lawnmower across the parking lot. Go figure. Anyway, yes, so we had to do the banks. We had Canadian Tire, where we had to pick up all the fluids that we're going to need for the vehicle for on the road. Just in case. It's all the just in cases. So transmission fluid and oil for the vehicle and things like that. Windshield washer, antifreeze for bugs, because I'm sure that when we're on the highway we're going to hit bugs. And we had to go to
storage.
We went to storage, in-town storage, and we put a bunch of stuff into there again. We've got the place emptied out pretty much of all the storage stuff now. It's anything that is going into storage at this point ain't going into storage. It's going to be with us traveling along, or we'll give it away or whatever. We had to give up our Kasori, which is our air fryer. We put it onto the actual generator thing, and it really drew the generator down. Worse than the microwave, so it would have not been good to keep along with us. So we put the Kasori and all its paraphernalia in. I realized that we had a bunch of metal baking types of tins, so those all went in because we don't have an oven, so there's no real point in keeping them. So we basically have got ourselves down to our kettle, our toaster, and it's a combination griddle grill. So you flip it over. It's a really nice one. We've had this thing forever, and it has we got it in our first motorhome, and we worked it to death in there. We had it in at Leo's, and we worked it to death there. I think we paid, it was on sale, I think we paid $30 or something for it, $20. It was really cheap. It's I can't remember the
I don't know the make at all.
name of it. I know the name, but I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. So we have those three. Basically, yep, that's our appliances, plus the microwave that's in here, and I think that's it. I think that's all we've got. But with those three things, we can. Oh no, and the Sultan, the induction range. Now we learned, really, the other day we used our Sultan, and we learned that the stainless steel frying pan, ours will work on there, but it gets hot and will shut the unit off. It gets too hot when you have it on a higher heat. So we have to remember that when we're using that one, we need to turn the heat down. On the other hand, our other ones, which are, I can't remember, stoneware they're called, stoneware I think they're called, and they are, they're perfect on the induction, and we can actually use them normally on a normal stove. You have to turn the heat to about half, but on the induction, because it's heating the pot itself and not heating the stove, it actually can be used on high, and it doesn't discolor it. So that was really nice to learn. We're really pleased with the induction because it doesn't draw the generator down very much. It's very, very small amount, so we're really pleased with that. The biggest draw right now we have is the microwave. So that's the one that we're drawing on right now. What else did we do yesterday? Because we did a lot. There was someplace else we went. Canadian Tire. We went to Walmart, two Walmarts. We had to go to the one because that's where our pharmacy is. So we had to go and talk to them about getting our medications. And so we're going to pick those up on the 12th. And that way we might get full 3 months supply. We'll see. I told them to give us as much as they could that would be paid for. So there may be, one of my medications, I may only get one. It depends on how long ago we picked up medications. So we'll see on those, and they have to bring a couple of them in, so we went to see them. And then we went to try and find a couple of snacks, and they didn't have cheesies in. Cheesies is one of our favorite snacks, and we like cheesies, not Cheetos. Cheetos are okay, but they're not cheesies. So we went we had to come to the other Walmart, and this is the one in the north end. We weren't planning on coming back and staying here, but we're here now. We stayed last night. It's much quieter here than it is at the Home Depot one. And the Walmart down there doesn't technically allow overnight stays, although people are staying overnight. They do have the signs up, so it is what it is, kind of thing. And I think that was all we did. And then...
Except for me, I had...
Yeah. So talk about what you've sort of discovered the last 3 days.
Well, the place where we got our, what do you call it, motorhome, the fellow said, the owner said to me, well, anyway, I laughingly said, well, I guess I'll have to take up card reading to give some more income so we can pay for the trip across Canada. Well, that was good, but I had done a card reading about 2 weeks before this all took place. And the lady was so enthused about my card reading, she told a friend, and the friend came over last night to get a card reading. Now, I read cards a little different than most folks. I use 2 decks of cards and 2 different types of cards. Regular playing cards and oracle cards. Well, this lady got so excited when she, on her way home, she stopped in at her girlfriend's, and today I had another card reading. And so maybe that's what we'll be doing some on the road is card reading. It's interesting, and the cards. Well, I've been reading cards for 60 years, 65 years, and to me they work really well. I just keep looking at my screen because I'm downloading all the images, the videos from one of these cards, and then once I get that done, I have to start and do the next one. So it's on my big hard drive. I've got 5 videos that are finished and set to go up, and then I've got, I'm no idea. I've got behind and I've been very lax, and I apologize to you for not getting at it, but in my mind, there's a lot of things that had to be done on the motorhome before we left on the road, so it was more comfortable for us.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest goal. Now that the motorhome is pretty well done, and we're set to go,
yeah.
Now I'm spending the day working on my work and listening to all this music of the weed whackers and lawnmowers going by.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't distract me too much, but at least it's not going to be on your video. I'm hoping this one it may be.
Yeah.
Because it'll start picking up some of the sound.
Yeah, this mic is really good at
but we
filtering.
Are getting there.
Yeah, we are. So talk a little bit, Gary, about your heritage in the card reading thing.
Oh. Well, my grandmother was a card reader during the Second World War and also in the Depression. And she read cards to all the neighbors. Just use regular playing cards. She learned the technique from it'd be my great-grandmother, her grandmother, who was a traveler, Scottish traveler. In today's world, she'd be called a gypsy over there. They weren't called gypsies in Scotland, they were only called travelers. Because they moved around the country. The men were usually tinkers, and they were people that repaired. So they'd come and sharpen your knives or repair doors or whatever as they traveled around the country. And that's how they made their living. The women usually did card reading and that on the side. Somehow, well, I am a tinker. I do all kinds of repairs, but I sort of fell into the card reading, and cards have always been good to me. They've always had answers for me.
They speak to you.
So that's where I'm coming from in my card reading. So now I'm going to put a little sign up on the side of the motorhome saying, "Have card reader, will travel." Well, I haven't got a gun like I've got no travel. I remember that show, but
have cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was something that sort of fell into us, and Gary enjoys doing the card reading, he always has. He's actually been, playing with cards in various ways since he was a kid, so, he comes by their talent. It's actually a talent and a skill, and it's more than just learning what the cards mean through a book. It's also being able to put the cards into what Gary calls a story, but into some cohesive thing for people so that it makes sense. And basically just to help them with decision making that is going on in their lives. He doesn't call himself a psychic. He's not trying to do any sort of thing like that. Um, but the cards do speak to him. They do give him um, not really knowledge, but information that he can pass on to the person he's reading for. And he never knows, and what the cards are actually going to say until he starts laying them out and talking about them, and the people react, and it's not about being a mind reader or anything like that. It's just being able to sense the cards, what the cards actually are saying. I think I got that kind of right. I, on the other hand, have tried, learning cards, and all I can do is sort of memorize what the cards mean, but they don't really speak to me in a cohesive way. So they're not really something that I'm comfortable doing anything with. But I really admire Gary for being able to actually have this happen. My skills are other places, so I do other things. But he joked about putting a sign in the window, but we have actually talked about seriously doing that and just having a little sign in the side window there that you can see behind his shoulder, and just just card reading, text me at, and that's all it needs. And people will find us and they will come to us if they if they want, because that's how it always works for us. Anyway, we've had very busy days. Today is a relaxing one. The card reading this morning was kind of a surprise, but it was okay. I generally, when Gary's reading cards, I generally go into our bedroom and just take my Nintendo Switch and go in there and play my little game, and take Bree with me, so we're out of the way. And if we shut the door, we can't even really hear what's going on. We can hear mumbling, so it's kind of nice. There is privacy that way. How we're going to do it when we're on the road? Probably the same way, but who knows? I may go outside. Who knows? But yeah, so that has kind of been what we've been doing. Tomorrow is another busy day. We start early, as I said. We've got doctor's appointments. I've got a breathing test to go to, which it's long. It's an hour-long test that you do, and I have to do it about every 6 months. I think it is 6 months to a year, for my lung specialist, so that he can see how I'm doing, how my COPD is doing, and things like that. It keeps track of the COPD, the aspect of COPD, and how, if I'm, getting worse or staying the same, or, whatever. Hopefully this time I'm going to discover, I go to Dr. Wild, who's the lung specialist. I go to him right after the breathing test, and the breathing test results will all be on the computer so he can access them. And I'll get an x-ray done in his office, because he's got a machine there now. And then I will be talking to him, and I'm hoping the x-ray is going to show that the pleural effusions, both of them, are finally gone. I feel like the one on the right side has now disappeared on its own, and I'm back down to normal. I'm doing so much more these days. This morning I did dishes, I chopped some lettuce, I've done things that I couldn't do at all before, and so I'm really happy about that. So tomorrow we see them, and then I have to go back to see the eye specialist. I saw him last week, but he gave me some new drops to try, and he wants to make sure that they're doing their job before we head east. And the pressure in my right eye was really high, and I mean, the stress we've been under, it's no wonder, and he agrees it is probably more stress related than anything, but it isn't helping me, so we need to get the pressure down. Gary's been doing some healing on me. He has what I call healing hands, and he has helped many people, including myself. He can't cure, and that's not what I'm saying, but he helps to heal. It helps your body get the energy into it so that it can actually heal in a particular area. Whatever area it is that he concentrates on, he can help get it cured. Well, not cured, but healing. So he's been doing some healing on my eye and trying to help with the pressure there too. So, I mean, every little bit helps. And Gary's gypsy family background is is quite helpful. But yeah, so he's been doing with one lady who's very, very pregnant. She's having her baby this month sometime. As a matter of fact, she's supposed to be being induced this coming weekend. He's been helping her with hypnosis because he did take courses and he is a certified hypnotherapist. So he has been doing some hypnosis with her to help her get over the fear of pain. She wasn't going to be induced, but she's changed her mind. Her baby is much bigger than normal. She has large babies, and having a large baby is very painful. So she's going to be having the baby this weekend, apparently. She's going to be induced, and they're going to see if she can have the baby this weekend. Anyway, yeah, so he's been very busy doing these extra things, plus doing little repairs and bits of maintenance around the unit. He actually got the slide fixed. I think that's on another video where he was working on it. We haven't got the Starlink hooked up yet. He's still trying to figure out exactly what we need to do and how that's going to work and all the rest of it. It's not, I mean, you know, they can call it plug and play if they want to. It isn't. Plus, there's an app that we have to get on the phone, and we have to have data for it, and there's a lot more to it than you think. And so he's been learning about that and trying to do that. In the meantime, I still do not have access to my email accounts, either one of them, and so I'm still not being able to read emails and such. I think I've said in another video, if you need to contact me by email or you want to contact by email, go to the twocraftyseniors@gmail.com. And that's our one for our YouTube channel. Where we are sitting right now, because we're on somebody else's internet, they can block certain channels, and we can't get onto YouTube. And I think it's because the videos are large for them to be allowing people to watch. You know, if you have more than one person watching videos on your free Wi-Fi, you know, it is probably very stressful on the Wi-Fi. So I imagine that that's the reason that they've done that. But yeah, so apparently I've been talking for a half an hour. I had no idea. But so I'm going to finish this one now. And I think we've talked about everything, brought everybody up to date. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I doubt we'll get any videoing done until maybe in the afternoon. We're thinking about as soon as we pick our meds up after we see the doctors. Thankfully, I had my eye specialist changed today to 1:30. I think it was 1:15, 1:30, something like that. So we'll have to scoot over there as soon as we finished with Dr. Wild. And then once we're finished there, because that shouldn't take too long, just long enough for the doctor to actually see me and check the pressure and see how I'm doing there. And then we are free to, well, no, then we have to go to Walmart and pick up our meds, whatever it is they'll give us. And that's going to be probably close to $100 if it's not a little bit over. On our portion, because I have expensive meds, I have to pay. For some of them, I have to pay $25 per time that we pick them up. So whether it's 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, I pay $25 like a one-time fee. And I've got 2 or 3 meds that are that expensive. So, and then Gary's, I don't think he's got any that are that expensive, and my other one's not that expensive, but they're still, you know, anywhere from $10 to $20 each for us. So, you know, it's going to be around $100 to or just a little over for that. And then after that, we are free to go.
No.
No?
No,
absolutely
not.
Then?
We have to stop and get something to eat.
We do. Yes. We do have to pick up something to eat. We're thinking we're going to stop at, there's a taco time. There's a Safeway where we buy our fuel, and it's a Shell. So we're going to go there because if we use our AMA card, we get 3 cents per liter off. We're pretty much full. We haven't driven very much, but we are down a little bit from the other day when we got fuel. We were out at Staveley and came back in, and that fuel cost was awesome. We did see here in town 149.9, but it was in a place that was really hard. We don't know if we'd get the motorhome into it. So we're going to go to Safeway, and I think they were 159.
No, it's 150.
156. So we'll get it for 153 with our AMA card. And we're just going to top up. I don't know if we're going to bother with propane at this point. We've got like 3/4 of a tank of propane, so I think we're good. We're not using a lot of propane anymore because we only have it on the furnace right now because we don't have a hot water tank. And as far as like the hot water is concerned, well, we do what we need to do. We boil a kettle, we pour it into a jug that we've got here, and we can put some soap in it, take a wash, wash our hair in the sink. I've got to do that this afternoon. Gary's got to wash his. It's sort of sponge bath day, and we deal with it. And when we get out on the road, we'll find a truck stop once in a while, and we'll stop and we'll have an actual shower. But I don't, we're not fretting about it. We can make hot water. And if we need more, we just put a kettle on and put it on the induction and boil a kettle, or a pot. We just put a pot on, or boil 2 kettles, or however it works. So that's about it, I think, for this time. Tomorrow we'll be leaving once we've got our food and topped up with fuel and stuff. We'll probably be heading out of town because it'll be afternoon. Gary might want to have a little sleep before we leave town, or he might just want to get out on the road and we'll stop someplace and he'll have a sleep somewhere. It'll depend on how he feels tomorrow. As far as Bree is concerned, well, you can see she's contentedly sitting beside Dad. We have the door open. We have all our windows open today. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a bit of a breeze comes in. We're kind of facing the wrong way to catch the breeze right now, but I don't worry about that because the breeze will change direction and it'll be coming in. So it's not a big deal. And I think that's about it. That's about it. So take care, everybody. We are very sorry that we're absent. We're sort of AWL? Yeah. Missing in action, actually, yeah. It's more like that, because we're not without leave. We took our own leave.
Yeah.
We gave ourselves permission, but we are, away, and we're doing our best. Once we get the Starlink going, it'll make it a lot easier, because we won't have to worry about trying to find somebody who has the internet that we can actually get onto. The trouble is trying to get onto our channel, because you can't upload if you're not there. So we haven't actually found very many places. Home Depot, I think we could have, because we could watch YouTube, but we just never got there. So again, apologies, and we will talk to you when we can. I will try to do videos as we're traveling. We'll see how it goes. We might just be doing videos as we stop and just telling you where we are and what we're doing there, like we were doing when we traveled to BC and back. But we may be able to do some that are sort of as we're driving down the road or something like that. Our first bit is going to be across Saskatchewan. There's not a huge amount to take video of that's, really exciting. But we'll see. We are planning on stopping in Moose Jaw because there's a museum we want to see there. Winnipeg, we want to stop in there, and there's a couple of things the zoo and maybe the big park in Winnipeg that I'd like to see. I don't even know what else is there. But, Winnipeg's got a big casino that we could park at. In Moose Jaw, I think there's something Gary mentioned. There's someplace we'll be able to park at that'll be decent.
There's a truck stop there, but there's maybe other places there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we find. And once in a while we're going to actually stay in parks and things like that, so that we're not necessarily in parking lots all the time. And so exciting times coming up, because right now we have no idea how things are going to go out on the road, but we've got the vehicle to a point now where we feel secure taking it across the country. And we've got the fluids and such to be able to manage doing that without worrying about being in the middle of nowhere, and now we need oil, so we've got some with us. It's always safer to take some along with us. Gary will check the rad and make sure that there's enough water in it and antifreeze in it before we leave. So we're sure that that's staying cool too, because we're coming into warmer weather when we leave this area, and once we get partway across Saskatchewan, we'll be out of the wind channel. Oops. The power is really low, so I better say goodbye. Okie doke. We'll talk to you all soon, as soon as we can. Bye for now. Give it a wave.
Yep. Bye for now.